Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I'm PGA professional Clay Winnell coming to you live from the 1L studios here in friendly Bedford, Texas. Excited to bring you another fabulous guest on tonight's episode of the Grown Man Radio Show. He's coming in all the way from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the great and powerful Sergio Dias.
What's up, my man? How are you?
I'm well. Thanks for joining me here on the Grown Man Radio Show and giving us some time. So we can pick your brain about how we can learn from video of our golf swing. I don't know if you've seen, but I've been putting this golf league together called the Tuesday Game. And I think one of the biggest bits of value that I can provide to the people that are gracious enough to come out and play golf in my league is to get video of them in competition on the golf course. But in my current stage of understanding of the swing and instruction, I really can't give the folks the attention to detail that they need. And that's a blind spot for me professionally that I am working on getting past. And I think to better understand the golf swing and how to best use video, I need to talk to really competent golf instructors. And we met a few years back online and did a podcast like this. And when I started thinking about how can I get people involved in helping analyze Tuesday Gamers golf swings, you were the first name that popped up in my head. I reached out in the DMs, and here we are. So again, thanks so much for coming on to help. And can you just like really—
My pleasure, man.
Thank you for coming on. Can you walk us through? All right, so you're out on the golf course, and your buddy gets a decent video of your golf swing. And you're interested in working on your game. How do you approach that video? What are you looking at? And what's sort of going on inside of your head when you see a video of someone swinging the club?
Firstly, I go to setup number one, kind of like just getting balance points out. If you're not balanced, that setup, you're in trouble. So a couple of the swings that I've seen, right? The guys a majority of them are out of balance. So you're starting off on the wrong foot from go. So first thing I'm looking at that, and then I'm looking at trail arm. So how is that right arm moving? Is it working in and behind, or is it kind of like flaring out, right? And then just looking at the matchup between that and the grip. So let me just stand back here. So if the easiest way to show you this would be, you can see my right arm, right?
I can see your right arm, yes.
So is that trail arm working in and behind, or is it working more that way? So kind of like the tray analogy versus kind of working in. So that's the first two things I'm going to look at, and then match the grip up to those. That's especially for guys who are not going to, like, they work and they're not going to spend hours on the range dialing in everything. They're not going to be videoing their swing all the time. So matching them up in this way is the fastest and the easiest way.
Okay. Well, so how do you tell right off the bat if someone is out of balance?
So you'd literally just go armpits, kneecaps, balls of the feet in one line. And then you can look at their butt line as well. Generally, if someone's weight's back into their heels, their butt line is going to be pretty far back. And then you'll get some guys where if you draw a line down their armpit, you'll see their armpits are quite far back as well, or their armpits are way in front of the toes. So just way too much front bend.
So pretty much anybody, no matter their physical ability, if they're an old grandpa or a young athletic person, you should be able to get them in a comfortable position where they can go armpit, knees, balls of feet in a straight line.
100%. So literally what I do with majority of my guys is literally just stand straight up, hands on the thighs, and just kind of round the back until you get to above the kneecaps. So if you have shorter arms, you're going to obviously have to bend down a little bit more to reach. If you have longer arms, you're going to be a little bit more upright.
Okay, that makes sense. And I've seen video along those lines before. And if the tech cooperates, I'm going to play some videos here from the Tuesday game, and maybe we can take a look at these setups. And when you see someone out of balance, can you pretty much already tell what their golf swing is going to look like, or is it dependent on what that trail arm is doing in combination with the setup?
Combination with the trail arm.
Why not the front arm?
Trail. So the lead arm obviously plays a role as well. That would come down to the hinging as well, and then like what the structure looks like on top. So obviously a really weak left hand, the hand is going to automatically bow. So when guys look at dudes like Colin Morikawa, DJ, they're not intentionally bowing that wrist. Or I wouldn't say DJ. DJ possibly is, but Morikawa, John Rahm, I don't think, well, I'm pretty sure they're not thinking of bowing that wrist. If you grip the club really weak with the left hand, right, and you take that club back, the weight of the club is going to bow that wrist for you. It's not an intentional movement. So a lot of times I see guys kind of go strong grip and then they're, oh, I need to bow this hand, and then they get the club face extremely shut. It's not natural.
Okay. I glazed over a little bit there. Not that it's not interesting, but if I don't understand it, then a lot of the folks back home don't understand it.
Okay, let me put it.
No, go ahead.
Let me put it for you in a simple way. Your left hand, right? The angle in which your left hand is at address should be that same angle at the top. So if I have a cup left hand at address, so a really strong left hand, kind of V's pointing right of my shoulder, my wrist should be a little bit more cupped at the top. So Rory McIlroy, for example, Rory's got a slight cup in his left wrist at the top, right? It's not bad. It's not wrong. He's got a really strong left hand grip. So whatever the grip is at the bottom should match up at the top, if that's easier too.
That's an easy way to think about it. And so why is that? Is that because you're keeping the club face quiet?
Yeah, you're keeping it square as well. So again, if you have technically a strong left hand would keep the face a bit more shut, right? Now, if you want to keep that face square, if you're going with a strong grip and then you go and bow it, adding bow or flexion into this wrist is going to shut the face even more. So the only person that I can think of that can actually do that is DJ, because he just opens up like crazy.
So in general, every golfer should try to deliver their left hand to the top of the swing in the same structure as where they are at setup, unless you're an absolute crazy
100%.
Animal that can rotate ridiculously.
100%. 100%.
What about at impact? Does it go into more of
at impact? It would, yeah, but it also depends on, like at impact, it's really going to depend on the grip as well, right? So a weak grip is going to need a bit more because you have to manage the face, right? So a weak grip is going to need a lot more flexion so that you can kind of get dynamic loft down.
Is it a good way for people to practice getting, if they don't really understand what cupped is or bowed, is there a way for them to practice seeing their left-hand grip proper at the top of the swing?
What's the easiest way to put this? Let me grab a clock. Give me a second. I'm going to flick this around. Okay. So let's just go really strong left hand, right? That is going to match up to that. So let's put it this way. If you can see more than 2 knuckles in the left hand, you would want to see a bit of a cup. If you can see 2 knuckles on the left hand, you want to see a flat wrist. And if you could see 1 to pretty much 0 knuckles, you want to see a bit more of a bow. It should happen naturally if you're not manipulating it.
And I wrote a post a bit ago. I'm so much in my feels. If I get to hitting it good, then I write a little thing. I write a little feel note. And to me, I felt like when I'm hitting it my best, my left hand is on the grip like a workbench vise. Like I'm like those things where you put a little 2x4 in there and you hit it with the saw. I feel like my left hand it's not like overly squeezing, but the club face is basically not rotating at all in my hand. I'm trying to maintain the exact same pressure throughout the swing. Do you agree with that?
100%. Again, that would be, it's all individualized, right? So there's no There's no cookie cutter way for this. So, for example, I lost quite a bit of weight, right? So if you look at my arms, they kind of hang very internally. If you look at my left arm, it's quite internal, right? So I can pretty much see all my knuckles here. So my arm is naturally going to want to go into that. If you stand up, you might even see that your hand's more this way. Yeah, it's quite internal as well. But that arm's always going to rotate. It's going to rotate to it where it's comfortable. So if you get someone that's really jacked, their left arm's going to be John wrong. Their left arm's going to be that way. Yeah, correct.
So if you're super jacked, then what does that mean? Like, what grip should you use, or is it still doesn't? It's
still dependent. It's still dependent. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. I've got
why...
examples of a jacked golf swing that I'm excited to look at with LT from the Tuesday game.
Sick.
This dude is in excellent shape. Okay, so you said offhand that a strong grip tends to shut the club face. Why is that?
Just naturally again, right? So if I'm standing there, I grip it. See, mine's generally very strong, my lead hand, right? So if I pick that up, it's going to be square, right? If I go with the weak grip and I pick that up, my arm's going to naturally go to its position. That face is wide open. You got that? So it's because my arm's so internal, once I grip it really strong and I pick it up, that face is square.
Which means it's less open, which means it's more shut.
Correct.
I dig it. Thank you for explaining it in such simple terms. I know that everybody at home appreciates it too. All right, I'm going to switch to screen sharing mode here. I think I might disappear for a sec.
All right.
All right. So here is the great and powerful pool guy, Tim. Can you see this?
Yeah, I got him. I got him on my side as well.
All right. So if we were going to draw a line between the balls of his feet, his knees, and his armpits, it's pretty evident his upper body is way out in front of that line. So would you call that like top heavy, or would you say he's like front heavy?
Yeah, definitely top heavy. So you'll see as he takes that club back, he's gonna you see how that trail arms work. I'm actually not too worried with his posture because he's obviously been playing with an over the top action for a while. So kind of everything's aiming right, which I don't mind. But that if you look at that, his shoulders are way left. So also the way the shoulders are tilted can make something look different. So his shoulders are way left. That ball position could be way forward.
Okay. So
you see, you see how
like you're looking at this video. Where's your next thing? Where do you go? Sorry to interrupt you, but if you're going to your next frame, where are you going? You're looking at toe of the club.
Yeah. So exactly right there. Stop right there. That's perfect. So look at his trail arm, right? You see how his trail arm's working behind his seam line. So that right elbow is kind of working in and behind.
Where's the seam line? Seam line on the shirt or seam line on the pants?
On the shirt. Yeah, on the shirt. Seam line on the shirt.
Okay, so everybody at home, his bottom hand attached to his trail arm is working behind that line on the middle of his shirt on his right side, like by his ribs.
Yeah.
So is that indicative of a certain kind of grip, or is that just maybe how he learned
a grip? Yeah. Yeah. So he would need to weaken that right hand so that trail arm can work, because we're not going to change that. There's no way. He might have limitations in the right arm as well. So he might not be able to get external in that arm. So we wouldn't even bother trying to get him external. Just want to weaken the right hand.
And what would weakening the right hand achieve?
So if we weaken that right hand, if you take it to the top for me. Okay, so right there, you see how the shoulders are really flat. So
Yes.
by flat, I mean, if you drew a line across the shoulders, right, it's pretty horizontal.
I agree. Yeah, you're
So if he
supposed to have
stays,
left shoulder at the ball, right shoulder at the ball.
okay, yeah. So basically, if he can get, again, it depends on how much he's able to do, right? But can you see me? Yeah.
Barely. Yeah, I can see you sort of.
Oh,
No, you're
okay.
good. You're good. You're good.
So, okay, let me show you that. So if he's working that way, right? If we can get him to tilt that shoulder and get a little bit more across the line at the top, he's going to have a little bit more time to reroute that on the way down. Because his shoulders are extremely horizontal, the only way he's going to get back down to that ball is by dropping down and coming over the top heavily.
So you're saying somebody with this physical makeup, if they just work on a weaker right hand grip, because he's got a strong right hand grip, he would be able to put himself in a position at the top of the swing that would give him more time to do what exactly?
Basically to not come over the top as much. So if my right hand is weaker, right? Let me show you this. If my right hand is weaker, my shoulders should automatically tilt a little bit more. If my right hand is strong, my shoulders are going to turn a lot flatter.
Okay.
Does that make sense to you?
It will when I re-listen to this a few times.
Yeah. So if your right hand is on top of the grip, you're going to be moving in a more tilted manner. So his biggest thing is he's just strong grip, shoulders turn slightly flat, and then it's a big over the top move. So if he literally went weaker right hand, so V pretty much pointing towards the left ear, that would get that lead shoulder down a bit more. And then from there, like I would never want him to be super shallow. I don't think he can right now. But I would say if you drew a line through his right shoulder, that should be the plane that he's pretty much swinging on.
So if you were to draw a line from the golf ball up through his right shoulder at this frame, that's where the club should be traveling.
For him, yes.
And
it also depends. It looks to me like he's got limitation in that right shoulder. So if there's limitation there, like I said, that arm is crazy. Like if you look at that right arm, it's insanely internal at that stage, right? So if you look at the forearm is pretty much facing down to the ground, the right forearm.
So does that mean he's probably got a bad rotator cuff or something?
Possibly, yeah.
And so like ball dynamic wise, he hits a super low pull slice because his path is insanely left. He's got a very steep angle of attack with an open club face.
Correct. So literally for him, the easiest way and the simplest way to get this right would be hit the range, weaken that right hand, move ball position. So he's moving that ball position more and more forward. That's hence his shoulders are getting open at address, right? So that ball position is going to get more and more forward that he can actually get to it. If you move ball position back initially on the range now, and what I mean by back, I mean pretty much on the right foot, there's no way he's going to be able to come over the top that way. That would be his simplest
something worthwhile
way
doing, or is that just going to confuse him?
100%. No, literally, if he hits 5 to 10 shots with that ball position insanely back, weak right hand, he's going to be okay. So it will take this away immediately.
So he should hit the range with a weak right hand grip and the ball position off of his right foot.
Correct. And then he'll literally, like, obviously the first few are going to be horrible. And then just let him get the timing of that, because that move from the top is never going to be there, because he's extremely out. Like his path is 10 plus out to in or to the left.
My free meeting will end in 10 minutes. Zoom, you're killing me. All right, I can get through some of these other swings. We said 30 minutes,
Okay.
and I'm already
Let's.
imposing on your time too much. All right, here's one of my guys, Adam. He's hitting some cool positions, but I don't quite know how to best coach him up on his club face. So the first thing that my eye sees,
Okay.
now that you mention it, is
Yeah.
setup is also top heavy.
The camera angle is also a little bit out. Ball position, same thing. This is a common mistake I see with a lot of people, right? Is when they get to the driver, because the ball position is more forward, guys will kind of tend to aim the sternum or the chest, the buttons on the shirt towards the golf ball. That's what he's doing right there. So if he just gets his setup square and kind of gets the buttons of the shirt pointing behind the golf ball and not at the ball, if you can see that, look at his shoulders, how left they are compared to his legs.
Okay, yeah, he's crisscrossed.
Yeah.
It's like his body is starting out, his upper body's starting out open.
Exactly. And that's just because the ball position's more, this is super common. That's just because ball position's a lot more in front. So he's kind of trying to face the golf ball.
And would you tinker with his, like, I mean, the club face is rolling open big time on the backswing. He's hitting pull cuts that are like in play. I mean, he's getting to a cool impact position there. But to my eye, that looks very cool impact wise. But I don't know if I need to tinker with his takeaway here, where he's getting that face rolling too much too early, or is that related to his shirt button being in the wrong orientation?
It's slightly related to the shirt button as well. But again, for someone like this, that grip needs to be a lot stronger.
His glove hand?
He's right hand, the bottom hand.
And so his arm is.
You see how the forearm is kind of, as he takes the club away, that forearm's pointing up to the sky?
Yeah, like he's giving blood.
Yeah. So if he has a stronger right hand grip, that face would literally stay square.
Okay. Well, I'll pass along that data. It's fun watching him play because he's so athletic and he's getting after it. He can play the little pull cuts that I wish that I could play.
Yeah, that swing is really good. It's literally that right hand looks extremely weak to me. So it's kind of the previous guy and this guy, they pretty much crisscrossed. Just need to change grips. Because his release pattern, you can see how on the way, yeah?
Oh, go ahead.
If you see that release pattern in the video you're showing me now, if you look at that right hand, it's working underneath on the way down. So step. There. You see that?
Yeah, I mean, that's all Chinese to me. What does this show?
Okay, so you see how his right hand is below the left?
Yes.
Okay, which means he wants to release underneath, which is a good release pattern for a strong grip.
So his grip is not matched up with his comfortable release pattern.
100, yeah, correct. So he goes stronger right hand grip, starts hitting it. You're pretty much going to see the same order. What's going to happen with him is he's going to strengthen the grip. You'll hit the first few, they're going to go straight left, they're not going to fade back. And then he can change his swing direction. So he can start swinging more towards the center without seeing that slice.
Cool. See, that's why you're a genius. I mean, you do anything long enough, folks, you're going to become an expert at it. And it's cool that you can, to me, it just knowing the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then understanding what the H is given the B is awesome. All right, here's Caleb O'Kessner of Free My Music. He plays a swoopy draw. He's got probably one of the most, what would I say, smooth, athletic swings out there. All right, so can I try
Yeah,
to analyze here? So super strong right hand grip.
please. Yep.
Ball position looks fine. What do you think about that getting the hand? So his trigger is kind of here, and then he kind of forward presses it and then goes. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the club face is coming.
Yeah, that's okay.
Quiet. The grooves are looking at the ball. There's like this little shift into the right side.
Mm-hmm.
So at the top, our face is shut. The grooves are looking at the sky.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like, I don't know how to put it into words, but his turn, I guess his left shoulder should be going down more.
No, because his grip is strong, right? So his grip is strong. That shoulder is going to turn a lot flatter naturally.
So that would be a fool's errand to try to get that shoulder down, given that grip.
He's gonna if he gets his shoulder down with that grip, he's gonna snap hook it. He's gonna hit that thing left all day.
Interesting. And that is why, because his path would shift even more in out.
Correct.
And so what I noticed here was like this kind of frame here. So that's like to me, that's a throwy release.
Yeah.
Like right hand is rolling over the left big time. Is that pretty much what every swoopy draw player does?
Yeah.
And he looks
so
jammed.
You see how
is he jammed or what?
He's jammed, correct. 100%. So there's two ways for this guy. Is the first one's a little complicated. If you take the club on the backswing to left arm parallel, right there. Okay. From there, he should start shifting left already.
He's hanging back too long.
Too long, correct. So then on the way down, if you look at the shirt buttons, they're way behind the golf ball. You see that?
So yeah, his upper body
little bit of a tilt.
Cut.
Correct. So if he went left arm parallel and then started to move that left lat down and forward, or the left rib cage down and forward,
so to do that, do you
that
get them on one of your little like surfboard looking things where they press their weight left faster?
100%.
Okay, now that you said it's so obvious, but I would never see that. That's amazing. Yeah, because because he's getting 100% of his weight into that trail foot, and then by the time he gets to impact, he hasn't shifted enough weight in front of the ball yet. In fact, he's hanging behind it. So the only way that he can get the club through it is to flip that right hand under.
100%.
I'm not picking on Tommy Fades, but I think this is a good example of a shank, and we've got 1 minute and 19 seconds to talk about a shank. So walk us through it, sir.
This is literally, out of all the swings, this is the purest swing. His setup is just way out. So if you had to draw a line on his butt line, armpits, kneecaps, you can see how way far back that is at address.
Okay, let me go back.
Okay.
Armpit, knees, balls of feet appears to be in a straight line to me.
No, if you drew, I've drawn that line on here right now on my side. Let me just flip this across and see if you can see it. So armpits, kneecaps. There's way too much knee flexion in this. So can you see that?
I can't, but maybe the YouTube viewers can later down the line. Just hold it up there and hopefully we get it.
Okay, so simple. The rest of the swing is absolute gold, but because the butt line's too far back, when he makes a backswing, his head moves forward and that lead shoulder moves forward. If you can see that. So as he takes it back, I don't know if you can draw a line, but as he takes it back, look how his head moves forward, so towards the golf ball.
Oh yeah. See it relative to that cart path, folks.
Correct.
So what does that do?
Now he's literally moved a couple of inches closer to the golf ball. So he's not backing out, which is kind of a good thing. So it's actually not a bad shank. Okay, can you see this? Oh, I don't know if you can. But so basically what happens is he moves there. Now he doesn't back out, hence he shanks it. Okay, it's actually okay. What I would say is if he can get his butt line, so pretty much the same setup as I explained earlier, we just get him to turn that right hip a little bit on the backswing. He's gold.
Because he's got, but
This is
can he not turn it because his knees are flexed too much, so his body doesn't want to turn that right hip?
Yeah, so if you look at his left shoulder, how his left shoulder is also moving kind of like that way. His left shoulder moves forward, like towards the target side.
Nah, I don't see that yet, but I'll rewatch this and better understand what you're saying.
Yeah, so it's like his is actually pretty easy. Setup, once the setup gets right, can turn that right hip behind him. That shoulder won't work as forward. Like if you look at his feet, look on the backswing, look how the pressure goes straight into that left leg. There, you see that? Look at his left toe, the front of his left foot. You see how it's pushing down into the ground?
I guess.
There.
Yeah,
Yes.
there I see it.
Yeah, so that means that shoulder's working forward and left of the golf ball. But that is all, like the rest of this action is so good.
Yeah, I mean he can play.
I love the release.
I just caught one shank on him.
Yeah.
But that's helpful. I mean, to me, you know, you don't want to see all the pretty ones. You want to see the one that was terrible and try to understand why.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Who we got here? All right, this is one that all right. Let me try, Sensei.
Yeah, this is a beautiful swing. I love this swing.
Armpit, knees, balls of feet seems okay.
Yeah, we good?
We're good. And then what I said is like that head comes up immediately. Is that a
yeah, it's okay.
problem?
No, I'm okay with that.
All right. Why are you okay with that?
Because so basically he's coming up to help himself turn.
So is that part of like
So that's how he's creating.
bending the back or?
Yeah, it's just he's preventing himself not hurting himself, which is sick. I love that. I love this action.
Rosie, love to hear it. So even that, so he hits it dead left. Why?
Because he's trying to hit it right.
What do you mean?
Okay. His grip is strong, right?
His right hand grip is strong because we can see a lot of glove.
Correct. So if he weakens that right hand, that trail arm's working in and behind him, same as the first guy. So stop it at the top. Okay, you see how his right forearm is pretty much parallel to his spine angle. So it's this way.
Right forearm is parallel to spine angle. Yes, I agree with that.
Okay, so if his right hand is weaker, he's trying to hit this thing up high draw. You can see where that club's trying to travel to. It's trying to travel up and right. Bring it down. Yes. For the downswing, yeah? Yeah. Yeah. That's intention. He's trying to hit that thing up and to the right.
But he just didn't hold the face open?
No, he doesn't need to. If you get him to the top, right? And yeah, from there, if he tries to swing it pretty much dead left. So if he just opens up his chest and swings it hard left. So let the hands exit close to the left thigh. Yeah, that frame right there. You see how high those hands are? So it's just exiting too high. Let me flip my screen. Okay, stay where you are. I just want to show you this. It will pretty much, this is like a general explanation so that everyone can just understand what I'm saying. I don't know if you're going to be able to see me now. You can see me there?
Yes, sir.
No? Yes?
And I can hear you. This is swanky.
Okay. Oh, sick. Okay. So for that gentleman, right? His club's exiting high up here. Okay. The higher the hands exit, the more the ball's going to go left. Okay. So if he weakens his right hand and feels like he exits more left and around him, so from this way, kind of exits more this way, he peers it.
Take that, Rosie. All right. You got time for one or two more?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, I got 7 minutes. Be good.
Okay, here's Sean Tate, new golfer.
Yeah, he has a great golf swing as well.
So armpit, it's hard to tell from this angle, but okay, so his upper body is twisted a little open relative to his lower body.
Yeah.
And there's something wrong about how his upper body is bent over, yes? Or is that because of the way that his arms hang?
Yeah, armpits. Nah, armpits are too far forward. So it's too far forward, bent over too far.
And what is that going to cause him to do if he's bent over like that?
So generally he would move back, but he's not. He's actually moving forward, the same as the guy who hit the shank.
Okay.
You see, if you take him to the top, look at his head. So look at his head in relation to the bunker.
Uh-huh.
You see how it's gone forward?
Yes.
So his matchup is just slightly different. As he comes down, he backs up. He's going straight up. He's got a really good swing. It's just he can't release the club as good as he wants to. So he could probably hit it a lot further than he currently is.
So he needs to get the setup.
So yeah, he can't.
Right?
Yeah, and then just pretty much put his head in a door frame and make backswings like that.
Why would
Everything else about
why would that happen, or is that just lack of feel?
Could be trying to get that right shoulder down to the ball. On the backswing.
I love
so
how
you got very limited hip
ball.
rotation. Yeah, that's what I say. Like the whole pattern, the hands, the structure, everything is insanely good. That face is his face through the ball is as good as it gets. You're not going to get better than that.
We just got to get his backswing, the structure better by having him
Sets up and
wings in a door frame.
Yeah, just so that the head doesn't move forward, because that would get him a little bit more around him, and then through impact, the first couple of frames through impact is good, and then you kind of see how that right shoulder rises and the arm gets stuck. So he's good, he's good, he's good. And then that right shoulder just pops straight up. That will disappear for free. Yeah, there.
Okay. Super beginner Travis. Play good.
Travis.
So why can he only get to right there with his arm? That I see.
Yeah, it's simple. Okay. Travis is easy, man. Okay, give me a minute. Yeah, I'm gonna go in the front again and just explain this to you. There's a couple of guys that can actually use this. There's another video that the guy can use this as well. Think of the golf swing, right, as the left arm working around and the right arm lifting. So his right arm's not lifting, he's just going that way. he can just feel like he's doing like a bicep curl with that right arm on the backswing. So his right arm just lifts up the club while that left arm moves around. I had a guy yesterday, literally exactly the same as this one. And I literally got him just feeling like he's kind of lifting up with the right hand. And he went from hitting 7-9, 90 yards to about 140, 150 yards.
Awesome. Why is this guy's balance so bad? He's like fading away.
How people normally stand. Yeah, he's standing straight up, correct. So every single one of the guys can go stand straight up, hands on the thighs, go down until you get to just above your kneecaps. Every single person can do that.
Oh, here's our super jack guy. All right, here's my jack dude. What'd you say about jack dudes? Their arms are gonna hang more.
Most likely, the left arm's gonna be a little bit more external.
So to me, I look at this. Do most jack guys have shorter swings?
Yeah.
And why is that?
Just rotation in the chest. There's not much there.
He slots it though.
Yeah, that's pure. What I'm saying in terms of like with the positions, right, is positions are nice as checkpoints, as a reference to look at, but getting people into position, they become so robotic that they become slow. They lose like it's not a natural swing anymore. The club needs to swing. There still needs to be a swing. It can't be step by step. Yes, there's time and place for it, but majority of people that hit the range maybe once a month, there's no way that guy's going to get positions to change. He needs to have a feeling and an understanding of where his body is. So if these guys go to the range, again, it's majority of my clients as well. It's the guys don't really go to the range. And if they do go to the range, they're just bashing golf balls, which does no good.
Okay, so Adam's got, I don't know how to put this into words. His release is really weird through the ball there. I don't know why is he just holding on to that or what is happening through the ball?
Yeah, he's just holding on to it. He's not releasing it. So that again, Adams is the same as this. If you literally just get him to go, hinges it vertically, gets it horizontal, vertical, horizontal. If he literally does that, same thing. That's all he needs. Because at the moment, he's really trying to just muscle it with the body. That's all he's doing. There's no wrists. So again, losing a lot of speed. You're going to get a lot of speed from your wrists.
I got a top in here somewhere from Adam too. Here's our top. I think let's end with this one.
Guys moving forward. So majority of guys that I see, the reason they're topping it is the hands are so far in front. So if I push my hands forward, where's my club? Same with wedges, yeah? So I don't know if you can see this as well, but if I move my hands forward or if I move the grip forward, my club rises. So there's no release.
So he's topping it because he's
not releasing the club head into the ball. So he's not releasing all that energy. He's pretty much storing that energy in his body.
I'm excited to see how far he can hit it when he does release into the ball.
Oh, yeah. This is the same guy with the driver earlier, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Dude, I'm going to do this for you, yeah? I will put all of these on skill list for you, and I'm going to go over every single one of them, and you can kind of just like digest it in slow motion.
Well, that would be incredible.
Yeah, right. Let me do that for you. I'll draw the lines for you and I'll just put them out for you. Hopefully this helped some of the guys. I'll send this all and just pretty much sort every one of these guys out.
Well, on behalf of them, thank you. And on behalf of all the viewers out there, thank you, dude, so much for sharing your
brother, thank you so much.
I'm excited to get these guys dialed in, and I'm excited to study teaching more myself. It's a blind spot, like I said. I have to work on it, but we're we're going to keep having fun in the
Anytime.
Tuesday game.
Let's let me try get to you guys. I actually want to try and make a trip September.
You're coming to the States?
I want to go watch John Jones fight. And it sounds like he's fighting the UFC it sounds like he's going to fight in September. So I want to try and make a plan for that. So if I go UFC, I can pop in by you guys.
Yes, we're going to be playing the last Tuesday of September. We need to have you. We need to make it happen.
Let's try and make this happen.
All right, buddy. Thanks so much for your time. Good luck in your next lesson.
Awesome.